Princess Anne and her first husband, Captain Mark Phillips, found themselves in the line of fire when an armed attacker tried to kidnap her. However, the Princess Royal, 73, who is known to be outspoken, refused to act and branded the attacker a silly man after he tried to kidnap her just meters from Buckingham Palace. The King's younger sister and Captain Phillips, the father of her 2 children, were returning to the official residence of the Queen, her late mother, from an engagement. Welcome to Royal Experts. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any news about the British royal family. But just 4 months after she married Phillips, the couple found themselves under fire when their car came to a screeching halt after a Ford Escort pulled in front of them outside Clarence House. The car was driven by Ian Ball, who had his sights set on the princess, who was then only 23 years old. At the time, Paul was alleged to have had a plot to escape with Anne tied to his leg to demand a £2 million ransom from her mother. But in true Anne fashion, Her Royal Highness refused to move from her car and said it was unlikely she would leave with Paul. During the attack, Anne's security officer, Jim Beaton, was nearly killed while trying to protect the royal family. Peyton did not pull his gun when Paul shot him in the shoulder. When he tried to fire his weapon, a Walther PPK, it jammed. When asked to put his gun down, Paul threatened to shoot and before trying to force entry into the car before eventually getting into the car alongside Anne and Phillips. While Peyton was trying to continue his mission to protect her life, he was later shot in the hand and then in the stomach. Anne remained calm throughout the incident but eventually became angry when her dress was torn during the altercation. He opened the door and we had a kind of discussion about where we were going to go or not, the princess said, recalling the incident with Michael Parkinson. When asked about the conversation, Her Royal Highness explained, "He said I should go with him. I can't remember why. I said I didn't think I wanted to go too much. I was strictly from the police because I thought it was ridiculous to be rude at that stage. We had a fairly calm discussion about the fact that I wasn't going anywhere. Wouldn't it be much better if he just went away and we all forgot that was wishful thinking?" The mother of 2 continued, "It got a little more brutal at one point when he shot the policeman, and we were able to close the door, and he reopened the door. But in the process of reopening the door, the back of the door was closed. My dress was torn, all the shoulders were gone, and that was his most dangerous moment. I lost my rag at that point. He opened the door, grabbed my arm and pulled me. I wasn't going anywhere, put it that way." Anne went on to explain that she shouted, "Just go away and don't be a silly man." She joked that her bridesmaid was going to pick up a policeman's gun but was told not to by a passerby in a fierce tone. Anne continued, "Somehow we all ended up on the floor, I was on my back on the floor of the car and I was half on top. I managed to reach the doorknob behind my head and opened the door and literally pulled my feet over my head and did a backflip onto the road. The attacker then sped off into the park after a 10-minute brawl when the Metropolitan Police arrived." Paul said he thought of targeting Anne because she was the easiest and he had been informed of her movements by Buckingham Palace's press office. Thanks for watching until the end.